Football players lose fingers over the 4th of July holiday in firework accidents. The Giants' Jason Pierre-Paul was one of them.
And the most watched soccer event in this country occurred this past Sunday as more than 25 million people turned in to see, of all things, women play soccer as the U.S. women's team wins their 3rd World Cup. International soccer star Phil Alonge will join us live via Skype from Vancouver, British Columbia.
And in our Did You Hear About segment, we've got an update from about the fan voting from Kansas City for baseball's All-Star Game and a story about a Russian ice hockey doctor that got beat up by the team's head coach.
These stories and more as the best hour of your sports week is coming up right now. Glory days.
EatRadio.com.
Hello again, everybody. Today is Saturday, July 11th, 2015, and you are watching The Glory Days Show with Bruce and Disco. My name is Paul Discofani. This is my good friend, Bruce Oler. Kyle Melnick and Bonnie Schultz are behind the glass, and you are joining us on the Radio TV network, broadcasting live from Studio C in the great state of New York. Good morning, my friend.
How are you doing?
Doing okay. I've been on vacation all week.
I know. I was going to ask you about that. I know you went to see Penn and Teller.
I went to go see Penn and Teller. I even got pictures of me with Penn and Teller.
Yeah. Now, hopefully you weren't texting during the show. I mean, you know, you saw what
I
happened with
couldn't.
Patty LuPone.
I saw that. She got all upset. She went out to the audience and
She grabbed the phone from the person.
grabbed the phone.
That's pretty wild stuff, man.
Although I did see people using their phones during the show, which I just thought is just ridiculous.
There was another story where, and this person I think was from Seaford, who actually, his phone was running out and he wound up jumping up on the stage and tried to, you know, there was like he thought it was a real functioning, outlet, but it wasn't. He was trying to charge his phone or whatever, you know.
Did you guys get the pictures of me and Penn and Teller? Can you put one of them up or two? We're going to do a show. I actually, you know, they hang out after the show.
I know, I've seen them a few years
And they
ago,
just,
well, actually, it's more than a few years ago.
And it was very cool. So I got to take a picture with Penn, who is about 7 feet.
Yeah, he's a tall guy, man.
You know, he lost about 100 pounds.
Penn Jillette, right?
Penn Jillette, yeah. He lost a lot. That's me and Penn Jillette there.
There you go.
And I told him, I said, you know, you're very tall. I says, you have much longer arms than me. You do the selfie.
All right. Was he kneeling? Was he bending too?
He was bending down. I wasn't standing on a soapbox.
Okay, all right.
And he's a nice guy, you know. And then I went over to see Teller.
Now, what's Teller's first name?
I don't even know.
No?
I don't think he has a first name. He's like Cher.
Maybe it's Penn.
Maybe it's
I don't know.
That's me and Mr. Teller.
It looks like the cat got his tongue there or something.
Yeah. Another, and you know, he talks.
Does he?
He actually talks when he's not on stage, which was kind of funny, you know. Could you imagine if I had gotten him to do a promo?
I know.
For Glory Days?
That would have been
Getting
quite a
Mr.
coup.
Teller to do a promo. Hi, when I'm in New York, I watch Glory Days.
I'm sure Chuck would have enjoyed that.
But anyway, what
here we go. Yeah, we're getting a nod from the
those guys
from the booth
were.
there. Okay.
They're only. By the way, they're only going to be in Broadway for 6 weeks. I know that they didn't pay for advertising, but if you get a chance to go, you have to go. I mean, you know, we saw them in Las Vegas.
Yeah, a few years back.
And some of the same tricks, but you know, not everything was the same and stuff. But you still don't know how they.
That's right. That's right. And then I did catch up with you Wednesday night. Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes were playing over at Tanner Park. And that was a fantastic concert.
It really was.
I mean, this band, I mean, the Jukes are, I guess it's a really a revolving thing, you know, so, and I really think that Southside is touching up his hair, don't you? I mean, you're going to tell me that he's not gray at this point in time? He's older than both of us, man,
He had, his hair looked very nice and black.
Exactly. But everybody else in the band, nobody's from Asbury Park anymore, but it was a young band, but they were very tight and very talented.
He had a funny line when he said, he says, hey, I don't think he knew he was in Copiague.
Yeah,
he knew it was the town of Babylon because I'm sure
he kept on saying Babylon.
The check says town of Babylon that they give him. It might be a free concert, but they're getting paid. You know what I mean? And he says, okay, he says, I know all you guys are from Babylon. He says, and you all wish you were from New Jersey. And he says, especially Asbury Park. He says, like all of us. And then he says, well, none of us are from Asbury Park except me.
Except for him, that's right. That's right. But it was a great show. It rained a little bit, but who cares, And it really kind of reminded me, and it's been a long time since I really thought about how much I really love Southside John and the Asbury Jukes.
Great. They've always been a horn band.
Yeah, bar band. I mean, whatever you want to call them, but they are very energetic. They got a lot of great songs. Very tight.
And listen, we've seen them a number of times, and they're just we've gotten hurt a number of times watching them.
Now I got a little segue for us. Okay, so before Southside played, I don't remember the last song that was playing for that. They always got music playing before the band comes out, and it was Curtis Mayfield. It was Freddie's Dead from Superfly. And we were talking, and I was talking to somebody about him now. Curtis Mayfield is dead now, unfortunately. So it's not just Freddie's dead. Curtis is dead too.
Is his middle name Fred?
No. But he had a bizarre accident that happened to him. He was on stage playing in Brooklyn. I don't know what the name of the stadium was, maybe Keyspan Stadium or something like that. And I don't know if lightning hit the stage or something like that. But anyway, a piece of the stage, maybe where the lighting was, came down and hit him, and he was paralyzed. Okay, and so the rest of his life he was paralyzed. Actually, he wound up making some recordings while he was paralyzed. Whatever, he was laying in a hospital bed. That's what he was doing, recording the music and things like that. So that's a bizarre thing that happened. It was a bizarre injury, and what did we have happen on the 4th of July weekend? We had several bizarre injuries that happened.
Well, New York Giants defensive end Jason Pierre-Paul, he had his right finger amputated on Wednesday following a fireworks accident. Okay? Although the medical staff of the Giants were not allowed to see or speak to Pierre-Paul, he made the decision to have his finger amputated after discussions with his own medical team and his family. He decided that the amputation was the best decision for his health and his career going forward. But he also suffered fractures to his right thumb. Those wounds are expected to take 6 weeks to heal, while the site of the amputation will heal in approximately 3 weeks. Now, he's undergone numerous surgeries.
He's got burns on his hands.
He's got injuries to both hands, and he's expected to be released from the hospital this week. But Pierre-Paul wasn't the only genius to blow a chance at a multi-million-dollar contract in the NFL. Tampa Bay cornerback C.J. Wilson shared co-honors as Knuckleheads of the Weekend.
I love that word, Knuckleheads. Okay.
He did Pierre-Paul one better. He lost 2 fingers.
Oh, yeah?
And the 25-year-old Wilson, he's in the final year of a $525,000 a year contract.
525. Well, Jason Pierre-Paul is like, isn't it? It's millions, isn't it?
Here you go. Listen to this.
Yeah.
Back to our own genius.
Okay.
He was tagged by the Giants as their franchise player, and they tendered him a 1-year, $14.5 million contract.
That's a lot of cash, man.
And he has until July 15th, which is, I guess, Friday, to deal with the G-Men.
No, I think it's Wednesday.
Or he has to play the entire 2015 season under the tendered contract. Now, he hasn't yet signed the contract, although I guess that would be kind of difficult now.
He signed it like this.
Nor has he. But he hasn't negotiated a long-term contract either, so technically, he's not even under contract with the Giants. So if they withdraw the $14.5 million tender, he will automatically become a free agent. So, did you lose any appendages during your July 4th holiday?
I did not. I stayed away from fireworks, though. And I guess maybe Jason Pierre-Paul might be thinking, how many fireworks can I buy with $14.5 million? I would say a boatload.
They said he actually tweeted a picture of himself holding a baby, standing in front of a panel truck that was filled with fireworks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It sounds like a knucklehead to me, is what it sounds like,
But now, a couple of things here. Okay, as the franchise player, okay, you get a chance to negotiate a long-term contract. You have to be in the last year of your contract.
Okay.
You have to be. You then get a chance to sign this contract. If you sign this contract, then I think every franchise player gets $14.5 million, no matter what team you are.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But once you sign that contract, that means that you're only signing a one-year contract, and next year you'll be a free agent. Okay. Unless they put the franchise tag on you again.
They can do that?
They can do that.
I see.
Okay. But the basic player agreement that everybody signed off on has something called the non-football injury list.
Okay.
Okay. Now, if you're under contract, I can put you on the non-football injury list.
Okay.
Okay. But you don't get paid. I don't have to pay you if I don't want to.
I see.
Okay. But after the 6th week of the season, or I'm sorry, just before the 6th week of the season, I have to make a decision on if I'm going to activate you or release you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts with this thing, I guess, really.
Yeah. Non-football injuries, they're completely different than if you get injured on the field of practice or workouts or something, because you would still receive whatever your base salary was all the way through the time that it takes for you to,
So is he eligible for a workman's comp, I wonder?
I don't know. It depends.
And I wonder how much that would be. Certainly not $14.5 million, I don't think.
So now let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
All right. Now, you're about to give somebody a $14.5 million contract. Okay. Now, normally, before you wouldn't you have to take a physical?
Yeah.
Right. So, not even sure that he would pass the physical at this point.
Well, no, I don't think he will.
But why would you not let them see you? He wouldn't let the Giants see them at all. Why would they even offer him this contract now?
And, going off on a tangent here just for a second, and then ESPN is the one that releases this thing. Now, was that a HIPAA violation?
Well, that's the big question, because we know
being in the industry,
know how important it is.
Yeah, it's protected health information is what it is.
Unless somebody in the family allowed them to do that, somebody's losing their job.
I would think so, and I think I had read that whatever the hospital is down there, they got some big investigation going on.
Yeah, and plus they could be fined because now JPP's family could sue them.
Yeah, and maybe for $14.5 million. Who knows? So maybe he gets whole anyway. I don't know. It made me though do a little research on other injuries that happened to other, other athletes in non-competing situations,
So can we maybe use all of these and figure out who the biggest knucklehead is?
Well, there's a few of them here, so let's go through that. And obviously I think also over the last couple of weeks, Rory McIlroy, the golfer, right?
Yes.
He was playing soccer and he hurt his ankle, and now he can't compete in the British Open.
British Open, that's right.
In 1990, Atlanta Braves pitcher John Smoltz, okay, he suffered severe burns to his chest. Okay, now it's never been really revealed what happened, but there's speculation that what happened is basically he looked at himself in the mirror, saw that his shirt needed ironing, he was in a hurry, and he decided basically not to take the shirt off, but to try to iron the shirt while it was on him, or whatever. He's denied that, but
But where were the burns?
On his chest.
You mean like as if you were leaning down to light a bomb?
Well, I don't know.
Just inquiring minds want to know.
So, what he said is, he said that didn't happen. He said he had ironed the shirt and he put it on. It was too hot. All I can think about is, of course, Seinfeld. Remember Kramer when he was when he had all his clothes thrown in the pizza oven, put them on. So I don't know how hot it can get that you would burn yourself like that. Ben Roethlisberger had that motorcycle accident. Actually, I think Kellen Winslow Jr. also had that. In 1988, while pitching for the Mets, Bobby Ojeda cut off the tip of his finger.
That's right.
With an electric hedge trimmer. In 1993, when he was a member of Cleveland Indians, him and two teammates, he was out on a teammate's boat, and two of his teammates basically crashed into the boat crashed into the deck.
That's right.
And his two teammates got killed. He said he was slouching, I think is what he said. So he got you get a scalp cut or whatever.
See, it's good to slouch.
Yeah, it is. In 2002, Baltimore outfielder Marty Cordova.
Yeah.
Okay. He got severe sunburns. He fell asleep while in a tanning one of those tanning booths. Another Kramer story, right? He fell asleep. Joe Sakic had a snowblower mishap. Adam Eaton, a Major League ball player who stabbed himself in the stomach while trying to, how tough is it to get the shrink wrap off of a DVD?
Oh, yeah, okay.
So he wound up stabbing himself in the stomach trying to remove it, You have Detroit.
Let me tell you something about athletes.
Yeah.
They're
not too smart. They're not too
They're
smart. That's right.
But you would think that they would be more coordinated than regular
You would think
people.
so. Plaxico Burress, right? He shot himself.
Shooting himself in the leg.
I think last year, one of the Detroit Lions, he has a sack. He jumps up in the air, and he tears his knee up, right?
Oh, yeah, remember, wasn't there a football player that...
That was him. I forgot his name.
No, there was a football player that he was so excited, he head-butted the goalpost thing, and he hurt his neck.
Yeah.
And there was an outfield, there was a baseball player that hit a walk-off home run, and everybody's jumping on him, and when he gets to home plate, he jumps up on the plate and slips and broke his leg and he's done for the season.
Exactly. So, bizarre things happen all the time, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I sit there and I laugh sometimes and I just say, oh my goodness. You're an athlete, especially the stupid things like driving accidents.
Yeah.
You can't get somebody to cut your bushes for you. You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be I got somebody to cut my bushes for me.
Yeah.
Who
I don't know.
does that anymore? My goodness.
So I guess we'll find out what happens to Jason Pierre-Paul.
I'm going to tell you what's going to happen.
Go ahead.
The Giants are going to pull the offer off the table, and they're going to make him a free agent because you know what? He's too stupid to get $14.5 million. And you know what? If you're not going to let me look at you, at least come in to say hello, how are you? I'm not asking to look at your medical records. I could just go to ESPN and see them if I want to. But I at least want to find out how you are. Remember, the Giants organization is the one that supported Plaxico Burress, who could be the stupidest guy ever, to shoot himself in the leg in a club.
Yeah.
And they supported him, and this guy, but again, is it because that this guy is such a great player? How great can he be? I don't care how great you are. You're stupid. You're just dumb.
Yeah. I don't know. It does beg the question, what are these guys thinking, really? I mean, like you say, a car accident is one thing. Some of these things I was researching talk about, Cam Newton got in a car accident, or I think even wasn't Glavine, didn't he get into a car accident in a cab or whatever, coming from LaGuardia?
I can at least understand if you're not driving.
Yeah, exactly.
What was the guy with Pelly Lindbergh, the goalie for Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Didn't he kill himself in a Porsche? Driving like 100 miles an hour in a turn?
Well, there was one accident where I think Danny Heatley was the driver or whatever, okay? And I think his teammate got killed, and, his career's never been the same, basically. He was playing in Atlanta at the time,
Dummies.
They are.
I feel bad for him, but you're just stupid.
Yeah, but why take unnecessary risks? I mean, is what it comes down to.
We were talking on 4th of July, we were talking about... actually shooting off fireworks, and I was telling you how I was always afraid to do it.
Yeah.
I just was afraid. I'd rather watch somebody.
I tell you, we were Massapequa. There were lots of people shooting off fireworks there, man, huh?
I just would rather watch somebody else blow their hand off.
Yeah. And then, and it really kind of started out with the first thing I read was there was a guy in Maine who, him and his friends were drinking. He decides to light a mortar off of his head.
Oh, yeah, that's another.
Guess what? He ain't around anymore. You
No,
know?
that's a good idea. At least I can understand you're trying to light a fire thing and it doesn't work and it blows up.
Yeah, right. Oh, you look over, you boom.
To put something on your head.
Yeah. Not too smart.
Alrighty.
Not too smart.
We're just getting started here on the Glory Days show. Right after the break, we'll have international soccer star Phil Alonge here.
I guess he won't be Skyping in, though.
He's not going to be Skyping in. I think there's a problem with the Skype
Skype feed
in Vancouver. But he's going to talk about the Women's World Cup, and later on we'll have a few stories in our Did You Hear About segment. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Days show with Bruce and Disco, only on the Radio TV network. Coming right back.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com. For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered.
Hey, this is Chris Less Jake, and if InRavio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Welcome back to the Glory Days show with Bruce and Disco here on the InRavio TV network. Just a few scant weeks ago, this man came on the Glory Days program and laid out for us exactly what the United States women's soccer team needed to do to win the World Cup. And on Sunday, he and the rest of this country were treated to a well-earned victory over the team that beat them in the 2011 World Cup. Live on the phone from Vancouver, British Columbia, the site of the 2015 Women's World Cup final between the United States and Japan, please welcome back to our program, international soccer star, Phil Alonge.
Oh, hello.
Where's the applause?
All right.
We need the applause
Philippe,
sound.
what's happening, man?
Are you there, Phil?
I'm good. Yes.
How goes it?
All right. Yeah, so I wanted to actually thank you guys for sending me out here to Vancouver, because some of you may know that I'm also a CFL fan, Canadian Football League, and my favorite team played yesterday, so I was able to see them.
Beautiful.
There you go. And don't forget, send the bill to Chuck Schultz, careofinravio.com.
Because I had Disco as the.
So
Don't worry, I'll sign off on it.
So I'll tell you, Sunday, I guess I'm getting ready to watch that game, and I had the baseball game on, and I'm watching the bottom line. I see the United States is up 3-0.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened quick, man. It kind of reminded me of, I guess, Germany. Now, who they play? They played Brazil, I guess, in the final.
Last
Yeah,
year,
it was the semifinals last year. Yeah.
in the men's in the men's World Cup.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, last year.
So we had a hat trick. That was first time I think we had a hat trick in the women's finals there.
Yes. Yep.
And I'll tell you, one of those
Yeah.
goals, I couldn't believe. You see that goal where they popped it over the goalie's head? And it kind of,
Oh yeah.
that was a goal for the ages, man. It really was,
I know. It like on TV, it looks like it's like no skill. You just you see the goalie out of her box, and then you just kick it forward. It actually takes skill. You think like you're kicking the ball forward, and then you have people coming at you, and you got to get the timing and the height right and everything. So
Right.
it was a great goal.
And I know she was talking about how, they see that every now and then, and they try it, but it doesn't work all the time, obviously.
No.
But when
Yeah.
it works, man, it makes the goalie feel terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then again, I got to tell you, I enjoyed watching some of the women's game more than I enjoyed watching the men's game.
Were you hoping for a wardrobe malfunction or something at Disco? or
Well,
what?
yeah, there's always that possibility.
Okay. Or a cat fight,
What did
No,
you know that Seth Blather, the guy from FIFA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know one of his suggestions was to improve the women's game that they wear tighter shorts?
Really?
Can you
Oh, yeah.
believe that? That's the president of FIFA.
Well,
That's
the
why he's
ex-president of
resigned
FIFA, I
now.
guess, really right.
So Phil, tell us about this women's team a little bit. I mean, we all learned about it kind of at the same time. But, what they did was fantastic. I mean, going into that tournament, Germany was blowing people away.
Oh yeah.
Just completely. They had scored 59 goals in the 10 preliminary games before the 59 goals.
Now, did the United States play Germany, or did
Yeah, they played Germany. What they beat them?
Yeah.
2-0. In the
I'm
semifinals, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yeah.
That's
we
right.
played them 2-0. We beat them.
2-0. I mean, they gave up. The United States women's team gave up 1 goal in the first game, and didn't give up another goal until the finals.
That's
Well,
Hope
isn't
Solo's
the
our
old
goalie there, right?
idiom, defense is the best offense. So the team, the United States only let up 1 goal up until like you said, up until the final, and then they let up just 1 more. I mean, that's the reason why we won that tournament is because like people were not complaining but worried that they're saying, oh, well, the United States isn't scoring goals. We're not going to go far. But if you let up only 1 goal, you're doing pretty well.
That's
Well,
right.
listen, we know all about that because we're Met fans. We know all
yes,
about
you guys
winning
won.
without a real offense.
Yeah.
But let's talk about that. I know that they talk about, it's revenge for last time, and I don't think that was a factor. When you haven't played a team, when you have a team that beat you 4 years ago, is it really revenge?
No. Yeah, it's not like the World Series or the Stanley Cup Finals where Game 1 you lost 5-0, and then Game 2 you come back and beat them. It's 4 years apart.
Right.
A few key members of both teams are no longer there.
Right.
So it's a different group, but the thing like this one, there was a few players on the women's national team. This is their last World Cup, so it's more that they played for themselves rather than revenge. I can't see any revenge in it.
I mean,
But,
when they first started, and I believe it was 1995? Was that the first one? The first women's
It was,
World Cup?
it was 91.
91, okay.
91, okay. So when they first started, other countries didn't really even have enough athletes to make a women's team. And they won the United States won, the first 2 cups?
I guess, yeah, they've won 3, I guess, in total, right? And I remember
Yeah,
something
yeah,
we learned, I guess,
it's
from
now
talking to you
3 they
last
won.
year was that they get a star each time on their jersey, right? When they win the World Cup, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I was going to bring up the, I don't know if you guys heard the controversy at the start of the World Cup, of the Women's World Cup, but...
What was it?
Well, because the Brazilian women wear, a jersey that has 5 stars on it. Now, if you noticed, our women were wearing 2 stars, and then had the big 3-star, ceremony that they're going to add the 3rd star to the crest.
Right.
But the thing is, that the Brazilian women wear replica men jerseys.
Oh, I see.
So, yeah.
So that's how they go with the 5, because I mean, if they only started in '91, they do it every 4 years. Obviously,
Right.
nobody's won 5. Won 5 World Cups for sure.
Right. Yeah. So it was a big hubbub about if the women of Brazil should be wearing that or if they should change it. But
So we had a ticket tape parade for them yesterday in New York City.
Oh,
and
yeah.
the crowd was very well behaved. Actually, what I had read is basically there wasn't a lot of cleanup they had to do afterwards. I mean, most of the cleanup was like, getting down a ticket tape or the toilet paper that maybe was stuck in the trees and things like that. But it wasn't like, massive amounts of beer cans all over the place and stuff like that. It was a well-behaved crowd, which was good
very
to see.
civilized.
Yeah.
But that was nice of them to do that, I thought.
Oh yeah, and there was a little controversy even with that too, because I think up till like maybe the day before, there was some men's teams that were going to be on the float, and I think they were like big sponsors for the parade. And then somebody said, "This is the day for the women. Why the hell we got men, in this parade?"
Why would they do that? Yeah.
Well, they cut them out is what they did eventually, but that was the plan up, I think, like up until Thursday, I think.
Yeah.
And I have to say, Phil, now you were over there, so you were up close and personal. Most of them were kind of cute.
Well, yeah.
They were more like
Most of them are,
volleyball
but
players.
some of them are scary. You could ask some of my friends about my reactions to if I saw any of them in person. So, at the end of the day, they're still athletes. So, if you cross one of them, they're gonna, they're
They're going to hurt you.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, so, well, let's talk. We got about a couple minutes left here.
right.
I want to know from you, because you are our absolute soccer maven here. Why
All right.
is it
Well, thank you.
tell me why people don't seem to care about soccer here, unless either we're doing well or it's some sort of a big tournament. I mean,
Well, yeah. Well, I had this discussion actually. It could be like you could say rugby related too, but I had this discussion with a few people that like in other nations, like all these tournaments that they're in, like the soccer's in, because right now, I don't know if you guys know, but there's the CONCACAF Gold Cup is going on right now,
Right.
and that's the men, and we just last night clinched our ticket to the knockout rounds. But the thing is, I don't think that a lot of people know that soccer's all year round. And like there's the tournaments here and there, and like the tournaments are, there's always some soccer going on. So
but why is it that is it just because we have too many other things going on and it's hard to get them? I mean, let's face it, from a youth league standpoint, soccer is more popular right now than baseball for kids. It's more popular for maybe because it's easier for the kids to do, it's less expensive, although you need more real estate to play it. But even with this the Gold Cup that's coming on, you don't hear about it. It's not the first story on the news. It's not exactly buried. But to be honest with you, it gets about as much coverage today as Canadian football gets.
yeah. I honestly, it actually gets more. It's not really so we get CFLs because ESPN owns the rights in Canada to show it, so that's why we get it. But no, well, like I took my cousin to the NYCFC Cosmos game in June,
Right.
and he's been on the fence and all that, for years now. But like after that game, he said that this put him over. That like he now consider himself a soccer fan.
Right. I mean, the fans themselves are very passionate about it. The
Yeah.
people that
I mean,
like
like-
people like you and the ones that go to all the games and stuff,
Yeah.
they're very, very passionate about it, and they love their soccer. But for some reason, it just doesn't get a foothold here.
It doesn't,
Well,
but you know,
yeah.
but 25 million people watch that game, though, right?
exactly
And now,
right.
I mean,
Yeah,
is that an
yeah,
all-time
world
record? I mean, I know it was a record, some kind of record for this year.
It's,
or
it's an
whatever.
all-time record for any soccer telecast, even the men's World
Even the
Cup.
men's. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. I mean, like, it comes down to, like, you know, right now in America, how, you know, like you always say about the big four, the top four sports, and you know, it's baseball, football, hockey, and basketball, and you know, like during, like, you know, like the time or the months that the sports overlap, you know, hockey and basketball always take, like, you know, the back seats to baseball, football.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, like.
Hockey's another sport. Hockey is barely a sport
Yeah.
when you compare them to the television ratings and the coverage of. I mean,
Right.
the Rangers were in the Stanley Cup final last year, and not that you didn't know about it, and they did make a big deal about it. But the games leading up to it and the regular season games, you had to really look. You know, when you go, you know, the way the newspapers are laid out, you. In the Newsday puts all of their major sports on the first page as you turn, but the Daily News is the opposite way, and the Post is the opposite way.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so you only have to go 2-3 pages to get the Rangers story or the Islanders story. Whereas if you want to get the Yankee story, you got to go all the way to you got to go
Yeah.
10, 12 pages deep into the sports section.
Yeah, but-
You know, that's
the
just,
cover, though, that's the thing.
I guess there's just too many things that this is.
Well, I'll tell you, it's great, though, that the United States is that dominating. I mean, we've won 3 World Cups now. I say hats off to the women. I think they did a great job there. I think the New York City did a great job with hosting them yesterday, giving them the keys to the city.
And you know what? I
Yeah.
got to tell you though, men's soccer can take a little look at what the women's game does because it's more entertaining than
Yeah.
the men's game.
Well, as of right now, in the Gold Cup, the United States has only let up 1 goal. So I guess, you know, they took the defense strategy with them from the girls. So
Yeah, but just the way the game seems, and I'm not talking about the scoring.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that the women's game they score more goals because the goalies are shorter. but it's just the way that they just play. It's more aggressive. It's more of an aggressive attacking game than the men. The men just seem like they're happy to kick the ball back and forth to each other until somebody makes a mistake, and then they pounce.
I see.
You know, and you only get 6, 7 of those in a game. I mean, look at what I mean, you know, that game, they had 3 goals in the first 7, 8 minutes of that game because they went right at them and they attacked them. All righty, Philippe.
all right, well, thank you for having me again.
Hey, man, thank you very much. And I know it's a long flight home. What's it, like 7 in the morning there in Vancouver?
Well, it's 3 hours. 3 hours difference.
3 hours difference. Okay.
So I'm just making up my flights in a little bit, and then I'll send the bill over.
We'll do that. Okay.
All right, Phil, thanks.
So let's take another break here on the Glory Day Show. When we get back, we'll bring you a few stories in our Did You Hear About segment. Stay with us. You're watching the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco, only on the Radio TV network. Coming right back.
The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there, and we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com. over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit HansonCarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered.
Hey, this is Christmas Jake, and if InRavio.com spots you at an event wearing this bracelet, they will give you $100.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco here on the Radio TV network. Now, if you're a sports fan, you know you can always turn to ESPN or SNY and get the latest scores and highlights. One thing that we pride ourselves on here at Glory Days is providing you with information that you may not have heard anywhere else. We call this segment, Did You Hear About?
There we go.
Alrighty then.
That takes a little long, man.
And we're running out of time.
All right.
We're actually doing all right. Okay, 2 weeks ago, we reported on the fact that the Kansas City Royal fans were dominating the All-Star voting and had, at the time, placed 8 Royals in the 9 available starter spots for the American League. Baseball fans who could vote up to 35 times with each email address were crying foul and accusing the Kansas City fans of stuffing the ballot boxes. Well, the final votes have been counted and the tribe has spoken. The dreams of having an all Kansas City Royals All-Star team have gone the way of Dewey Truman.
There we go.
Not only did the KC voters fail to get all 9 positions for their beloved Royals, they didn't hold on to their 8 leaders, or even 7 or 6 of them. As a matter of fact, they only got 4 players voted. Catcher Salvatore Perez, shortstop Civides Escobar, and outfielders Lorenzo Cain and Alex Gordon. But guess what? The baseball gods reach out and smited Gordon, putting him on the shelf for at least 6 weeks with an injury, leaving just 3 Kansas City starters.
Was that a firework incident?
I don't know.
Okay.
But not one other Royal was picked by either the players or the managers as a reserve. Although they still have a shot with Mike Moustakas, who can be voted in the final vote. Fans get to vote, choose 1 or more players from 5 that were selected. And Moustakas' chances got even better when one of the 5 players, the Yankees' Brett Gardner, was chosen to replace Gordon. So he's got a 1 in 4 shot.
Okay.
I still question why they allow you to vote 35 times.
Yeah, how'd they come up with that number?
I don't know. Why not 80?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You know?
Or 100.
Did you vote?
I did not. Did you?
I voted 71 times.
Did you use my email address?
I voted for Alex Gordon.
That's crazy.
All right. What's the other story?
Boy, are they tough in Russia. The team doctor for Russia's champion ice hockey team, SKA St. Petersburg, told a Russian newspaper that he had been hospitalized with a head injury, concussion, and bruising to his chest. Unfortunately for Igor Kozlov, he wasn't involved in a car accident at home or a home invasion. Kozlov said he got into an altercation with the SKA head coach, Andrei Kazarov, and he attacked him during a meeting with management after Kozlov did not immediately accept the severance package offered to him. It seems Nazarov wanted him out as team doctor, and when Kozlov didn't agree, well, the only thing he could do, punch him in the face and kick him in the orbals. Okay. Of course, Nazarov has not commented on the allegations. The SKA management team denied any conflict involving Kozlov. Maybe he should have taken the severance package. What do you think?
I wonder what the severance package was.
I don't know.
How bad could it have been?
I don't know. It's crazy, man.
You know, just that they have, it's just scary to know that you can, and again, it's not like they were in the locker room. They were sitting in a meeting room with, with the management team, and he just...
Now, what's that movie, I don't know if it's not Goodfellas. It's one of those gangster movies, though, where they're all sitting at a board meeting, and the guy's walking around with a baseball bat. He just hits the guy over the head with a baseball bat. Same kind of thing there, man. Like you say, it's one thing if you're in the heat of the moment, but they're sitting in a meeting and attack something like that. That's
Hey, I'd like you to take this severance package. Well, no, I don't think so. Boom! All right, I'll sign.
Here you go.
I'll have to sign it in blood. Okay. All right. You know, there's going to be changes to the home run derby. All right? In the last few years, the home run derby has become such a chore that most players have been trying to skip it. ESPN has taken what is an incredible live event and overplayed it, forcing players into 100 or more swings and dragging it out for 3 hours. I still think it effectively ruined David Wright's career in 2006 when he hit 16 home runs in the first round, leading up to a final showdown with Ryan Howard, which he lost 5-4. Wright wound up hitting 22 home runs in that derby. I'm not sure if he's hit 22 since. But instead of each player continuing to hit until they make 10 outs, the batters will hit for only 5 minutes each and compete in a bracket-style tournament. Okay. In the final minute, the clock will be stopped each time a home run is hit until the next time he swings at a pitch. Fairly simple, right?
Yeah, that sounds simple.
Of course not. ESPN had to confuse things and make it difficult by adding bonus time. Okay? 1 minute of bonus time will be added for 2 home runs that each travel or exceed 420 feet.
Jesus.
And another 30 seconds of bonus time will be added if you hit a home run over 475 feet. And you can get all 90 seconds of bonus time if you hit 2 home runs and one of them travels over 475 feet. Got it?
No, I don't.
All right.
It's not that simple.
Well, not quite.
Okay.
Because there might be a tie.
All right.
Right? All ties will be broken by a 90-second swing-off with no time stoppage and, more importantly, no bonus time.
Okay. Is that like swing?
Well, of course, inquiring minds want to know, what happens if after the swing-off there's still a tie?
Okay.
Well, there'll be a 3-swing swing-off until there's a winner.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, the only winners here are ESPN because they've sold out the advertising for this 3-hour monstrosity. It's just, you know, we love the All-Star Game.
Yeah.
Or at least I love the All-Star Game. You know, and we've had segments on this show where I gave you reasons and things to do to make the All-Star Game watchable.
That's right.
Okay.
And there were some pretty good ideas there.
And some of them are starting to come to fruition.
And the other thing is that you kept things simple. You know, ESPN, what an abomination, man. I mean, how can they make something that complicated?
Because they have to. Do you remember the old home run derbies? The way they did them in, what was it?
Ancient Greece?
No. At the Coliseum.
Oh, at the Coliseum, okay.
It was if you didn't hit a home run, the Lions came out, and you had to run around the field and make it home before they beat you. No, remember the old black and white footage of the home run derby where they had 2 players playing against each other?
Vaguely.
I think what they did was they played 9 innings,
Mm-hmm.
and what they did was they played top inning, bottom inning, top inning, bottom
I
inning.
guess anything that wasn't...
Until you made an out.
Okay.
Once you made an out, you
any-
were out, and the next guy went.
All right.
Okay. It was simple. It was easy. The players enjoyed it, and they did it at like a Wrigley Field type of a stadium, because there was I think where the Chicago Cubs did their spring training.
Okay.
They had a replica of Wrigley Field. It was simple. It was enjoyable.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, when I went to the All-Star Game 2 years ago with James and Kevin, the home run derby was fantastic. It was so majestic watching these guys hitting these home runs. But on TV, it just, you know, that whole, I'm getting tired of that Chris Berman.
Yeah.
Back, go.
Yeah, these ESPN, I don't know, they're like a menace is really what they are, you know? You and I mean, I worked as a long time as a consultant, and where I'm working right now, you know, my boss always says, keep it simple.
Yeah.
You know, let's keep things as simple as possible. Let's break it down, make it easy, you know? This thing, you know, God, there's bonus time and all of the crap.
I think they have to, I understand that they have to make it in, all right, let me take one step back. they've turned it into an event. It's a whole night.
Yeah.
Okay, it's part of your All-Star package. Okay, the All-Star package has now become, the Home Run Derby is a separate night from the All-Star Game. Okay, and if they're going to make you spend $100 or whatever it was to go see this thing, they have to give you a show. It can't just be half an hour.
No, I agree with that. I mean, you know, but why not have more people in the preliminary rounds or something, man?
Well, that's
you
what
know?
I'm saying. Have more people maybe do, you know, 5 outs. Would 5 outs be so terrible?
I don't know. I mean, I got a feeling they're going to have to tweak this thing considerably, man. You know, I mean, it almost seems like it'd be a Philadelphia lawyer to really understand what the rules are.
Well,
here.
but again, we get to that other point with the game itself that, you know, all of a sudden, home ice advantage. I'm still thinking hockey. Home field advantage for the World Series depends on who wins this game. Yet, you know, you have to play certain players a certain amount of time. Players don't really want to play, and just make it back an exhibition game, and I think that will bring the fun back to it.
And have Alex Rodriguez play too.
You know what? Much as I hated him in the beginning of the year, he's got 17 home runs.
He's having a great season. He's being a model citizen this year.
I don't think
the
Mets have 17 home runs as a team.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
All right. We are almost out of time here.
I see the clock is flashing there, so I know we're in the not quite the 2-minute warning.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll wrap up for the weekend. Stay with us. You watch the Glory Day Show with Bruce and Disco, only on the Radio TV network. We're coming right back. I swear.
For over 60 years, Hanson Carpet has put the customer first, providing only the finest quality products and service. And Hanson Carpet is so much more than just carpet. We also carry a wide selection of window blinds and shades, and our licensed and insured technicians can service any of your flooring or window covering needs. Browse our huge selection of laminate, carpet, linoleum, vinyl, and tile. Stop by our showroom today or visit hansoncarpet.com. No matter what your project, Hanson Carpet has got you covered. The world of advertising has changed. Radio, TV, and newspaper revenues have declined drastically. Why? Because businesses have realized that advertising return on investment isn't what it used to be. So what can we do about it? Well, that's easy. Advertise online. Own a local restaurant, real estate agency, or even a national retail chain? Whatever your business, InRavio can get your message out there. And we can do it at a fraction of the cost. Call today and see the difference for yourself. This isn't TV. This isn't radio. This is InRavio.com.
Welcome back to the Glory Day Show with Bruce Disco here on the InRavio TV network. So what did we learn today?
Well, the first thing I think I learned is that most athletes are knuckleheads. They do stupid things off the field. They get injured. You know.
Yeah, well, I think that most athletes, it's not like they, it's not like they chose sports over rocket science.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I
true.
mean? I think they're athletes because for their entire lives they've been pampered. They didn't have to go to school. And they're thrown incredible amounts of money and they don't know what to do with it. So what do you do with a lot of money when you have a lot of money?
You spend it on fireworks.
You buy fireworks.
Okay.
Everybody wants to be a Garucci.
There you go.
Although, if you're the athlete and you want to buy all those fireworks, why wouldn't you pay somebody else to light them off for you?
That's a good point.
I think athletes, when we think of athletes and we think of ourselves and say, oh, if I had all that money, I'd have a chauffeur, I'd have a guy to wipe my behind, I'd do all this stuff, And I think what happens is the athletes, they spend all this money on a lifestyle, houses, cars, stuff like that, but then they're cheap at heart.
Well, that's right. Also, they realize this is costing me money.
Yeah. Maybe I got to pay somebody to drive my car.
I got to pay somebody to light off a firework. I'm going to do it myself.
And that's really like the guy who, there was a ball player, and I forget who it was. One of the coaches bought a brand new Mercedes, and in the players' parking lot, he parked it in between two spots on an angle.
Okay.
And the player went to the coach. Coach says, that shows me that you can't afford that car. And that's kind of like what it is. It's like, these guys are, but deep down.
Of course, somebody would key that car in New York is what would happen. You do something like that.
That is probably there. I learned that women soccer players, as much as they're cute, or they might be cuter than, say, women's basketball players.
Yeah.
According to our international soccer star, Phil Alonge, they're big. They will hurt you. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And why was Hope Solo wearing eyeliner?
Good question.
She was wearing eyeliner in the final game.
Was she? In the final game?
Yeah, I guess you want to look
She wanted
good.
to look photogenic, I guess. I don't know. I mean, as evidenced by the ticker tape parade, women are obviously cleaner than men. They don't drink a lot of beer, okay? They clean up themselves much better than men do. And bonus time applies to the home run derby, but not this radio show. Okay.
Well, we used to have bonus time.
We don't have bonus time anymore, man.
Can we have maybe bonus time every time we do something like real good?
No,
we can't.
Okay, we got a thumbs down.
I thought you were going to say, yeah, you can, but you haven't done anything good yet. You see, that's the line. I have to write everything here. Oh, and by the way, don't let your children grow up to be doctors in Russia. It just seems to me that it's not worth the aggravation.
Not be a hockey coach or involved with a hockey team.
Alrighty, thanks to our producers, Kyle Melnick and Bonnie Schultz, for all their hard work and making us look so good out here. And thanks to international soccer star Phil Alonge for helping us out on the program today. Thanks, Chuck and Bonnie, for putting up with this nonsense week after week. And, of course, thanks to you, our loyal viewers who, for some reason, still watch the show. Don't forget, check out the Glory Days On Demand page on www.inradio.com. You can watch any of our past shows or any of the other great shows on the InRadio.com TV network. Have a great weekend, everybody. Stay safe. No more fireworks.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time with all your fingers.
InRadio.com.